Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about parenting teamwork.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hey, welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about parenting teamwork. And I just want to touch base and talk about why I came up with this title for this particular one. I am an admin in a fairly large dads group on Facebook. All kinds of first-time fathers, new dads, fairly new dads come in, and it's a men's-only group, dads-only group, where we could come and vent, we could come and ask advice. One of the things I always find interesting is many of these things we could Google, but as human beings, we want to hear from someone who's going through it in the moment, not just Google. So you get a lot of stuff that I personally don't take the advice from the guys in the group. I go and Google, but because I Google, I tend to answer a lot of the questions for the guys in a way that I hope is helpful with what little knowledge I have, because the title of this podcast is I Don't Know Jack About Parenting. I think everybody's kid's a little bit different, and every relationship is different, and there is some general information out there, but at the end of the day, we need to make the best decisions we can as a parent for our child and our relationships. So anyway, this gentleman yesterday, as I read this, and I'm looking it up now, he says, "Hey dads, I'm looking for a bit of advice. Before I start, take note, my other half is an amazing mom, and the little man could be a handful to deal with." He's 4.5 months now. Just to check for this guy, all kids at 4.5 months, because it's new to us as parents and this world is new to them. It's a difficult transition. So kids aren't difficult. It's our perception on how difficult this is. Can we embrace the sleepless nights? Can we embrace the change in our life? Can we embrace the fact that our life is dedicated to really empowering them and making them the best little human beings we can? And if we could embrace that, they're not really a handful, and we're not dealing with them. We get the opportunity to pour into these amazing kids. So basically he says, my issue is I work a full-time job and unsociable hours. So sometimes I don't finish until 1 a.m. or even later. And so then it just gets into the stuff. I do all of the night feeds in parentheses every day, whether he's working or not. I get up at 6 a.m. with him on his days off. So here's a man who's getting off work at 1 or 2 in the morning, but yeah, he's up just 4 hours later. He didn't say he goes to bed at 1 a.m. He gets off at 1 a.m., which means, let's just say by the time he gets home, showers and transitions down, it's another hour. So he gets 3 or 4 hours of sleep. This is how I'm reading it. Get up with him on my days off at 6 a.m. Any other time is filled with shopping and chores, etc. Before work every day, I try to get some housework done. And the same when I finish. It's becoming absolutely exhausting. Any suggestions from anybody in a similar situation? And then he says, while I'm on here, how many night feeds do any work dads on here do in comparison to the other half? And how do you balance? I look forward to hearing from all of you. So, and this is a guys group. Realize, ladies out there listening to me, this is a very normal post. 3,500 men, new dads, They want to be the best dad they possibly can, and they believe a way to do that is to support mom. And we're looking, and this was true for me also, we're looking at, man, mom's home all day with the little one. She's probably exhausted. I remember my wife telling me in the first pregnancy, or after, when we had the first child, I don't talk to any adults all day long. And she's in corporate America, right? So for her entire life, she's in corporate America dealing with adults, and now she's stuck, for lack of a better term, with this infant. I was doing a lot of traveling and a lot of working. And I just remember her frustration was, you don't get it, you get out. I don't really get out. And I was trying to make it really easy for her because I was doing a lot of the shopping, and we were ordering things online, and things were just coming to the house, and she literally did not have to leave the house. She just had to care for the baby. And I thought I was doing a good job. Come to find out, she would have liked me to just let her go with or without the baby. But then there's that challenge. Hey, I don't want to leave the baby. What are you gonna do with him? So there's this weird dynamic that women are, for lack of a better term, really attached to the child and think the child can't live without mom. But yet mom needs to get out and socialize with adults without baby. And it's a dynamic that us men just can't balance, because hormones are still going and all kinds of stuff, and we throw our hands up in the air. But it looks like this gentleman's doing everything he possibly can. Look, I'm going to work my 8-10 hour shift. I'm going to come home in the middle of the night. I'm going to do the night feedings. I'm going to get almost no sleep, all in support of mom. News to this gentleman: you are doing yourself a disservice, you're doing mom a disservice, and you're doing your child a disservice, because you're probably at this point doing it reluctantly. And the energy, children read energy, and if your energy is I don't want to be here, the energy is I'm exhausted, the energy is hey, I'm just feeding this child, but I can't really show it a lot of love right now because I'm exhausted, you are serving nobody. The advice I gave this gentleman, because he's still at 4.5 months and doing night feedings, is and this is what I said, and I believe this wholeheartedly: if you're working, mom's job is to train this child. And when I say train this child, it's not like a cat or a dog or something like that. The idea is it's teamwork. Her job is to get this child on a schedule. Not just like, oh, baby cries, feed it. Oh, baby's going to fall out and take a nap. It takes a nap. This child needs to be put on a schedule, because there's a great book out there, and I promote it all the time. I probably promote this book over the years more than my own book, because it's the gift that keeps on giving. So if you're not taking note, take note. It's called 12 Hours of Sleep in 12 Weeks. It's like $15 on Amazon. And what it states is 12 hours of sleep. The baby sleeps through the night by the 12-week mark if you follow the procedures in this book. Here's the thing. It's going to take some energy and effort, right? You're going to hear some crying. You're going to have to deal with training this child to wait to eat, because it's a schedule of sleep and eat and playtime. And it's almost military style, which sounds horrific, until that night comes where that child sleeps throughout the night. And mom and dad have trained themselves to be on a schedule themselves. So now that mom and dad are on a schedule, baby's on a schedule. And mom and dad like the schedule because the baby knows, the child knows what to expect. My kids get up at the same exact time every day. My kids don't cry in the crib. The other one kind of gets up on his own. And they've been doing their 12 hours of sleep almost since they were 11 and a half weeks old. Both of them. So dad's complaining about being exhausted and not sleeping because he's feeding the baby in the middle of the night. This baby should be sleeping throughout the night. In the first chapter of this book, it says either you're going to train the child or the child's going to train you. And guess what? it's your job as the parent to train the child. The child doesn't be like, hey, I'm getting up in the middle of the night and you're going to feed me. That's good for the first few months when they don't know any better, they're new to the world. It's not okay at 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 months and mom and dad are exhausted and looking like zombies to the entire world and aren't functioning well at work and aren't functioning well at home and are cranky to each other. You need sleep. So what I would say to this gentleman, I would say to any new parent, go buy the book 12 Hours of Sleep in 12 Weeks. Follow it to a T. The training doesn't start till really the 6-week mark. You're just kind of taking some data like the hospital asks you to do is how often are they pooping? How often are they peeing? What does the poop look like? How often are they eating? How many bottles? How many ounces? And you start calculating all that stuff. And then at the 6-week mark, the training starts. And that lasts about 6 weeks. So it's 6 weeks of becoming a new parent and taking some data, and then it's 6 weeks of trying to figure it out based on this, but not even trying to figuring it out based on this book and its strategies. And I'm telling you, your life, your sleep, your relationship with baby, with spouse will be so much better for having followed this for 6 weeks. Some of it you're going to want to resist so much and say this isn't right. But guess what? It's not right for months and months and months to get no sleep. You have to train this child. And mom, you got to do the training. If you're home and dad's working, you got to do the training. You got to follow the system. Dad, support mom, but make sure she's following the system. Support her following the system so you both can get some sleep. Because what this gentleman's going through is not sustainable. He's going to get burnt out. He's going to get frustrated. She's going to get frustrated at him saying, you don't want to support me. He's going to say, I've been trying to support you. I'm exhausted. And that is not going to have a good ending. It's called teamwork for a reason. The teamwork makes the dream work. And the dream is to have well-adjusted, fantastic children, and that all begins with consistency in a positive way so that the kids know. Listen to what I just said. The kids know. See, we don't know jack about parenting, but the kids know what's coming next, and that's what's important. As long as they know what's coming next, they will be content. So I said my son, 20 months old at this point, just this morning and every morning, it depends on who puts him down is who he asks for in the morning. And last night I put him down. So this morning, all the way down the hall, I hear, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. I get up, I use the restroom, come out of the restroom. Daddy, not screaming, not wailing, because he knows I'm coming. Because when he gets up, within a couple minutes, I'm there or my wife is there. He doesn't need to scream and wail. He knows. Because it happens every day. And when kids know what's going on, they could communicate at a normal decibel. Not crying, not screaming, not kicking. 4.5 months old, you could train them to do that. But you gotta follow a system. Hey, I don't know jack about parenting, but I do know they need consistency and they need a schedule. In the book, 12 Hours in 12 Weeks will help you get them there. Now, there's a whole lot of other things you can do that is in my book, BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. And if you listen to the end, you'll get a commercial on how to get there. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com/free book and get your copy today.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.